Welcome to Daily Book Insight. Today, we are diving into a book with let's say, a memorable title, but an incredibly powerful promise. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's one of the all-time great guides for anyone who wants to finally stop procrastinating and actually get more of the important stuff done. So if you've ever stared at your to-do list and just felt completely buried, trust me, this explainer is for you. Does this feel familiar? That sinking feeling you get when you look at your to-do list and it just seems to grow, no matter how hard you pedal. You're trying so hard to get caught up, but new tasks, new emails, new responsibilities, they just keep rolling in, one after another. And this feeling, it comes from everywhere, doesn't it? We're talking about an inbox that never seems to empty, big work projects with a million moving parts, all your personal responsibilities, even the good stuff, like that stack of books you swear you're gonna read. It feels like you're standing in a river of responsibilities that just never stops flowing. And this is where Brian Tracy starts, with a hard truth that's a little tough to swallow at first. And it's this: you are never going to get caught up, ever. So you can forget about it. You will never ever be on top of all your tasks. Just trying to be more productive isn't the real answer, because there will always be more to do than you could ever possibly get done. The solution requires a completely different way of thinking. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll talk about why we're all drowning in to-dos. Then we'll get to the heart of it, the simple truth about frogs. After that, we'll get practical, how to set the table for success, prioritize like a genius, and execute with a real sense of urgency. And finally, we'll talk about how to make this a daily habit for life. Let's do this. All right, first up, let's really dig into that core problem, that feeling of drowning in tasks. And we'll see why the advice you always hear to just be more productive is actually a trap. And this quote from Brian Tracy just nails it. The fix isn't some new app or a clever life hack. It's a fundamental shift in how you think. Gaining control means changing your whole approach. It means actively choosing to stop doing some things so you can pour all your energy into the few things that truly, truly matter. So if more productivity hacks aren't the answer, then what is? Well, that brings us right here to the simple truth about frogs. This is where we get into the brilliant core idea of the book and how one simple, kinda weird metaphor can completely change how effective you are. Now, before we get to the frog, let's talk about the guy who came up with this. Brian Tracy did not start at the top. He worked tough laboring jobs, he struggled in sales, and he always felt like other people were just smarter or better than him. But then he did something that changed his entire life. He started asking successful people what they did, and he just copied them. He learned that success is predictable. Within a year, he was a top salesman. By the time he was 25, he was a vice president. He proved that success isn't some accident, it's a skill you can learn. Okay, so what on earth is this frog he's always talking about? Well, it's a metaphor. Your frog is your biggest, most important task for the day. It's that one thing on your list that you're most likely to put off, usually because it's hard or complicated. But here's the key. It's also the one task that can have the biggest, most positive impact on your life and your results, right now. This is where the magic happens. The logic is so simple, but so powerful. If you get your most difficult, most dreaded task done and out of the way first thing, the rest of your day feels like a victory lap. You get this amazing surge of energy and accomplishment that just carries you forward, making you feel positive and powerful. And the whole philosophy breaks down into two beautifully simple rules. Rule number one, if you have two important tasks, start with the biggest, hardest, most important one first. In other words, eat the ugliest frog. And rule number two, don't sit there and stare at it. The key is to build the habit of jumping on your main task immediately, without hesitation. Just take action. So we get the philosophy, but how do we actually do it? That's what's next in Set the Table for Success. This is all about the crucial prep work you've got to do before you can even think about eating that frog. According to Tracy, clarity is, well, it's everything. He says the number one reason some people get way more done way faster is because they are absolutely crystal clear about their goals and they don't let themselves get distracted. Think about it. A huge reason we procrastinate is because we're vague or confused about what to do next. So step one is always to get clear. And get this, the difference this one habit makes is just staggering. Only about 3% of adults have clear written goals, but that tiny little group accomplishes 5 to 10 times as much as people who might have even better education or ability. Just the simple act of writing a goal down gives it real power. So how do you get that kind of clarity? You follow this 7-step formula. 1. Decide exactly what you want. 2. Write it down. You have to think on paper. 3. Set a deadline. A goal without a deadline is just a wish. 4. Make a list of every single step you'll need to take. 5. Organize that list into a real plan. 6. Take action on your plan right away. And 7, and this is the real secret sauce, do something every single day that moves you closer to your goal. Okay, so you have a clear written plan. Awesome. But your to-do list is still super long. How do you pick which frog to eat? That brings us right here. Prioritize like a genius. This is all about learning to make smart choices and to focus your energy where it's going to have the biggest impact. The cornerstone of all prioritization is the 80-20 rule. You've probably heard of it. Basically, it says that 20% of what you do will produce 80% of your results. Your frogs, your most important tasks, they live in that vital few 20%. The problem is we're all tempted to clear the easy stuff first, the trivial many, because it makes us feel busy. But true effectiveness means resisting that urge and focusing all your energy on that vital 20%. To put this into practice, Tracy offers the super practical ABCD method. Before you start your day, go through your list and give every item a letter. A is for tasks you must do, the ones with serious consequences if you don't. B tasks are things you should do, but the consequences are mild. C's are nice to do, but no real consequences. D is for delegate, and E is for eliminate. The rule is simple. Never ever do a B task when you have an A task left undone. And your biggest, ugliest frog, that's your A1 task. You've identified your frog, your A1 task. Now comes the moment of truth. Our next section is execute with urgency. This is where we stop thinking and planning, and we start doing. It's all about turning that clarity and those priorities into focused, unstoppable action. Look, big frogs can be intimidating. The sheer size of a project is often what makes us freeze up and procrastinate. So to fight this, Tracy suggests 2 brilliant techniques. You can salami slice the task, laying out every single step and then just doing one little slice to get started. Or you can Swiss cheese it. Just decide to work on it for a short, fixed time, like 10 minutes, and punch a hole in the task. Let's just break down that salami slice method. First, you write out every single step in detail. That alone makes the task feel less like a monster. Then you just commit to doing one slice. The magic is once you start and you finish that first small piece, you build momentum, and suddenly you feel motivated to do the next slice and then the next. You know, the goal of all of these techniques is to develop what Tracy calls a bias for action. It's this inner drive to just get on with the job quickly. It's about developing a little bit of impatience that motivates you to get going and to keep going. The most successful people don't wait until they're in the mood. They create their own momentum by taking action. Now, these methods are incredibly powerful, but their true magic only comes from consistency. And that brings us to our final section, your daily habit for life. This is all about taking these principles and weaving them into your daily routine until they become a permanent, automatic part of how you operate.
And this really is the bottom line, isn't it? It's not about one heroic day where you get everything done. Real, long-term success is built on the foundation of consistent, positive habits. The habit of setting your priorities, of beating procrastination, and of getting on with your most important task first, that is a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it through practice and repetition until it's just second nature.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one question, and I want you to really think about it right now. What is that one task, that one big, ugly frog that you've been putting off? The one that if you finally tackled and finished it, could have the single greatest positive impact on your career or your life. That's your A1. That's where you start tomorrow morning. If you found this explainer on Eat That Frog helpful, do me a favor and give it a like and subscribe for more insights into powerful books. And hey, be sure to share it with family and friends who are ready to stop procrastinating and upgrade their life. Thanks so much for joining me.